Okay, we're going to do a test review for Chapter 1. Everyone should have the sheets that tell you what you needed for your portfolio. The portfolio requirements. The first one, actually the date changes here. According to the revised syllabus, instead of the test on the 14th, we're having a test on the 16th. Instead of today, we're having it Wednesday. Okay, so that messed up your first sheet as far as the date on it, but we're still going to use it. We're not going to get a brand new sheet just because of that. Okay, you need your binder dividers. Your dividers should be labeled like it tells you on your syllabus. It should have a place for your syllabus. Get that sheet here. You should have the syllabus, then your summary vocab, and then a space for place for formulas, a place for notes, and a place for your return homework. Okay? The formulas, if you have handouts, that's a good place to put it because you're not going to have a whole lot of stuff in that section. The key terms, there's 22 of them, and the properties. There's 6 of them. Okay, make sure those are in there, written out, not copied out of the book, okay? Not copied out of the book. From page 131, look at page 131. I mean not a photocopy.
Oh,
you can write them out of the book. Yeah, you need to write them like out of the book, word for word, but not photocopied. Okay, so you need to do the terms and definitions written out, not photocopied. On page 58, there's some phrases. I told you to write those in your portfolio. If you don't know what it is, make sure you ask me make sure you put the right thing in there. This is not photocopied either. You need to write those phrases. From page 58 in the chart that has phrases for algebraic expressions, that should be in there. If it's not in there, that's how many points it'll be against you. Okay, there should be a section for notes showing that you're taking notes. By the first test, you should have flashcards either bought or made. Okay? You can make them out of index cards if you don't want to buy some, or if the ones you buy are too easy. The homework, the diagnostic pretest should be in there, and all the homework that you have returned. If I didn't return it by the day of the test, I'll have it with me and I'll give it to you that day. And the extra credit, if you do all of these, there's 74 of them. If you do the whole mid-chapter review, that it tells you which ones to do in your syllabus. If you do all 31 of those, and there's a practice test, you have to do all of them. 43 of those. If you do all 74, that's 10 points extra for your Chapter 1 test. This is a good 10 points to have, better than the extra credit on homework. This test are 60% of your grade, that's 10 points towards 60%.
If you do the mid-chapter review but not the ones like we got to do them all.
If you do the mid-chapter review only, it's about half. I do 31, divide by 74, and you get about 5 points. You could do it, you know, if you do some of them and don't finish, don't say, well, I'm not going to turn it in to you because it's not done, because you can get some. This sheet in your portfolio should be caught up. You should have the grades from these homeworks should be over here. If you didn't get it done, it'd be a 0 there. Okay, these are just blanks. You're not going to have anything written here. And then we're going to start Chapter 2 here. You're going to have a test grade and a portfolio grade. On the day of the test, you're going to end up having these grades over here. If I have it graded, you'll have that grade. But the portfolio grade, we will grade the portfolio on the day of the test. So you'll definitely have that grade when I grade your portfolio. I'll grade it, I'll check all this stuff off, I'll put the grade up here, and then you record it. Everybody has these sheets, correct? If anybody doesn't have them, I'll give you this set now. Okay, so that's portfolio staff, so we're ready for the review. And the review may or may not be multiple choice, okay? This is multiple choice. The test, it may be part multiple choice and part fill in the blank. It may or may not be, may not have multiple choice questions, okay? Okay, number one, 4x when x is 4. So just evaluate 4x when x is 4. Show your work, put the 4 in there, put 4 where the x is, so the answer is 16, right? Okay, this you would write B. If it didn't have the answers, you would write 16. This one, evaluate this. When m is 25 and n is 5. So when m is 25, n is 5. So you have 3 times 25 is what, 75 cents. Divide that by 5.
30.
30?
320. I thought it was 25.
I think it's 15.
Oh, yeah, don't they? No.
5 into
Oh.
7, 1.
Yeah. Sorry.
Better if you don't have the answer sitting there and
Yeah, 15.
grabbing an answer. Huh? 5 into 25 is 5. So the answer's 15. You'd be better off if I don't have the answer there, right? Because then you work it out and give me an answer.
No, I would be great for that answer.
Unique. Okay, x plus y over 5. The x is 10, y is 15. 10 plus 15? 25 over 5 is 5. D. 9 multiplied by x. 9 multiplied by x.
Oh,
B is 9x, right? 5 less than x. Okay, which one is it?
C. B.
If it was 5 less than 20, you'd do 20 minus 5, right? So it's the x and then 5 less. Yeah, not C. State the real number that corresponds to the situation. During 1 year, 33 employees quit their job. Is it positive or negative 33?
Negative.
Wow, they quit their job. That's not a good question, is it? Because if it's positive, it actually gives the answers here.
I would say it's negative because they lost.
Because
32
yeah,
employees.
because you have that many less. Yeah. Yeah, it's a negative. I thought the people are positive. In one state, the highest point is 690 feet above sea level. Above is a positive, right? Yeah. And graph the number on the number line. It actually has the number lines here. These end up being really hard for people to pick the right one. I've given this test before and people would pick like the one that's below it, but these number lines are above the letter. Yeah, see how that is? I had people like look at the right one and then give the wrong letter to it. So this one I might be able to put not multiple choice. Negative 4 2/3. Go back to negative 4 and then 2/3 more. Negative 2. And then 0, and then 2, and 2/3. Yeah. This one is the right one, right? Which is C. Yeah. I might make sure I don't do this one multiple choice for you guys. And I'll just have to check that. Convert to decimal. How do you do 19/16 into a decimal? 19 divided by 16, that's how. 16 into 19 is 1. Okay, those are 3. It's 1 and 3/16 if you're doing a mixed fraction, but you're doing decimals. So you need to put a decimal here and add a 0. 16 into 30? 1. Subtract. Add another 0. I have a feeling if this is multiple choice, you'd be able to just pick A, right?
Yeah.
So it must be 1, 8. 8 times 16. 48, 8, 9, 10, 12, 128. Subtract. That's going to be too many, huh? So 7. 7 times 6 is 42. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 7. I heard that bad word all the way over here.
Did you?
Yeah. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Get that. Yeah.
Are we supposed to go out 3 spaces, or how many spaces when it's
Till
converted?
it stops. Till it repeats or till it stops. Okay, 16. Yeah. 16 into 80. 5. 5 times 60. 5 times 6 is 30. 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's perfect. It stopped right there. So you would probably like to have this on here, but you're not supposed to have remember you don't use a calculator, so you need to show all your work. And if you do this stuff, go ahead and leave it on there. I'm going to do one-sided tests, so you won't have to worry about having room to do stuff. You'll be able to use the back of the page before. If you would rather have scratch paper, you can go ahead and use scratch paper for your test and then staple it to it. It's better to have the work close by if I could check it, but if you want a separate one, you can. Okay, the 2/9 would be 2 divided by 9. 9 into 2, 20. 2 is 18. It's going to keep repeating, right? It keeps going 2, so put a line over it. If it starts with decimal, put a 0.
Do we have to put 2 2s in there?
No.
Oh.
Just show that it repeats. Okay, write a true sentence using greater or less than. So you just need the greater or less than on there. 5.3, greater, right?
Yes.
Greater is the one that points to the right. You know how numbers get greater on the number line? This is your greater. Or when you put it there, it gobbles up the big one. Okay, our negatives here. I think, is this greater or less? Less. Which is farther to the left of the number line, right? Farther to the left. On the negatives, you need to see which way is farther. Okay, this one. Write an inequality with the same meaning. That means you're going to turn them around, put the 48 in the front, and the 41 in the back. And it switches the sign from less to greater. And it's not going to have the equals under it either. So that would be this one right here. But be ready to write them. They're not multiple choice, you're going to have to write it down. Okay, this one, with the same meaning, we'll put the y on the other side. Put the -1 here, it's going to flip the sign over. Okay, so that's the same as B. Find absolute value. 24.
Oh, I can see before. Sorry.
Oh, I should make it bigger, huh?
Thank you.
All right, and then 7 plus a -8. -1. -8 and -2. -10. Keep the sign and add them. Positive and negative, we're going to have to subtract them, right? Is it going to be positive or negative at 7? Positive. 2 7s. Okay, now we have a mixture. We got two negatives here, and then we have a positive one there. This is all adding though, okay? So if you add these two negatives, you're gonna have a bigger negative. 13 point, you got 6.9, 6.7. 13.6. Okay, the negatives would be that big, the positive is 3.2. So now you need to subtract them, right? 13.6 and 3.2. When you subtract 10.4, is it going to be a positive or negative 10.4? Negative because your negative's bigger. Right. These ones, this is all addition. Add all your negatives, get one negative and get one positive, okay? The negatives are here, here, and here. So we have 11, 12, 13 negatives. Now the positives. 19, 12, and 5. 9, 10, 11, and 16. 1, 2, 3. This way you only have to subtract one time. You combine all the negatives and combine all the positives. Positive 23. Yeah, you're going to subtract this from it. And it's a positive 23 because the positive's bigger. The opposite or the additive inverse is the same thing. You're just going to change the sign. So instead of a negative, you're going to have a positive. Okay, negative x, whatever you have in here, is going to change the sign. Okay, if x is 32.4, negative x is negative 32.4. Okay, if it's a negative, it's going to change it to positive, right? Okay, evaluate negative x. So you have negative x. Okay, this is your x. These two turn into positive. So whatever x is, it's going to be just the same thing. Okay, if x is 2, the answer is 2. This x is 176, so the answer is just 176. Okay? So this one, same answer. Subtract. Okay? Actually, if you look at this, just do what it says, because you're going to be adding, they're the same sign, right? Just because that says subtract, don't let that confuse you, okay? Do negative 7.8, and then you're subtracting 9.3, but you're actually adding two negatives. So you're going to be adding the numbers. 8 plus 3 is 11. 9, 10, and 7 is 17. But you're adding them and you're keeping the sign. Yeah. Negative 17.1. Okay, simplify this one. The first thing you may want to do is get rid of the minus negative. Okay? Turn that to plus positive. This minus negative, so go plus positive. Okay, now that's a positive, positive, and a positive. Let's combine our negatives to make one negative. 16 plus 5 is 21. And combine our positives. 17, 18, and 5. 17, 18, and 5. 20, 2, 3, 4, 40. So the positives come out to 40, and the negatives come out to 21. So it's going to be a positive answer, right? 21 from 40.
29.
19. You're right. No, that's good. Is there a 19? It is 29, huh?
I think it is 29.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 15.
You are
not
right.
5.
Is it 29?
It should be.
Oh, this was 15, guys. I put a 5 here, it was 15. Yeah. So that was 50 minus 21. That's what messed it up. So it's 29 because I messed up on adding. No, I didn't. I messed up on getting the 5 over here. The 15. Okay, so that's 29. It says multiply, I've about covered it up. Multiply -4 times +4. Negative times positive is negative. Negative times negative,
Positive.
positive. And then you need to multiply your negative, your 19 times 13. 3 times 9, 27, 3, 4, 5. 0, do the 1 times 9, 1 times 1. So you have your 7, 9 times 5, or 9 plus 5, 14, 247. Okay, this was negative times negative is positive. Make sure to show your multiplication. I'm going to make, these won't be multiple choice, so you're going to need to show your multiplication. You won't even be able to have a calculator out, okay? Okay, you're going to multiply these 3 numbers. 4 and 8 and 19.
First of all, it's negative.
The answer? Yeah, negative, right? If you had the multiple choice, you would have been able to get rid of 2 answers right away. And you'd say, oh, well, we know it's not 31, so we know it's negative 608. So you would have been able to pick the answer, but this won't be multiple choice. So make sure you'll be able to multiply those, okay?
That's where we need multiple choice.
That's where you need it?
Yeah,
No,
we
you
have those big
don't.
numbers to multiply.
No, because they need to see that you can do it. Okay, negative 3x squared. Okay, write it like that and then put the x in there. X is a negative 4. So actually we should probably write it like this with the negative 4 times negative 4, the squared part like that, so you can see it spread out. Now you can pick a side. Negative or positive? It'll be 1, 2, 3. Negative, right? And then 3 times 4 is 12 times 4? 48. Or you could have did 16 times 3, still 48. So negative 48. Okay, divide if possible. A lot of people say it's not possible just because it says if possible. It is possible. But I've seen people pick, say it's not possible just because they see this right here. The only thing that's not possible is what? Dividing by 0. You can't divide by 0. Negative 68 divided by 4. So you're going to put the 68, actually you don't need the negative in there. The negative is actually going to be in the answer. Negative 68 divided by 4. 4 into 6 is 1. It's 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. 28. 4 into 28 is 7. So it's negative 17. So just do normal division. Just do your 68 divided by 4 and remember your sign. You might want to write your sign when you first figure it out and then do the answer so you don't forget the negative. Okay. 32, negative 42 divided by 8. I'm sorry, negative 42 divided by 6. Yeah, with the answer, it's pretty obvious it's 7, but it's not going to be multiple choice, so make sure you learn your multiplications if you don't know them. Okay, reciprocal is not the same as an opposite. The opposite or additive inverse just changes the sign. Reciprocal, you keep the sign and you flip it over. 14 is like 14 over 1. Keep that sign and flip it over. Okay? Keep the sign and flip it, and flip the fraction. If it's not a fraction, make it into it. So keep the sign, flip it over. -1/4. Okay, this one, keep the sign, flip it over. 7 on top, 3 on bottom. Okay? Rewrite division as a multiplication. That means you need to flip the second part over to change it to multiplication. Rewrite it as multiplication, so the 4 stays as a 4. Divided by -13 would be times -1/13. You're multiplying by the reciprocal. That's why we have reciprocals, to change multiplication to division. That's the first place you ever use it. Make that to a fraction, okay? Oh, they didn't make it into a fraction. So it's just 4 times -1/3, or -1/13. I'm skipping numbers again. Good thing I'm not writing the test by hand. Good thing they print out, huh? Okay, rewrite. Oh, this doesn't say rewrite. This one's rewrite. This one is actually find the answer. So you need to change this second part. You never flip the second part. Just leave the first part. I mean, you never flip the first part. Sorry, guys. Never flip the first part. You leave it. Change it to multiply by the reciprocal. I think it's because I walked in late. I think it messed me up for the day. Kind of like getting out of bed on the wrong side. 1 times 3 is 3. 7 times 2 is 14. What's the sign?
Positive.
2 negatives is positive. Okay. -20t/15t, to simplify that. T/t.
1 and 3/4. 8.
Okay, then let's write it where we can do some canceling. Okay, the t/t can cancel, right? Get rid of the t's. Now what are we going to divide by? Okay, 20 divided by 5 is 4, 15 divided by 5 is 3. The negative stays there.
We would do it -1/3. You want it further, yeah, don't you?
Actually, if this one was multiple choice, it wouldn't have that, so.
I mean, if we weren't doing multiple choice, you want us to take
Yeah.
it further than that, right?
Yeah, it's better to, yeah. If you gave this answer, I would have to give you at least half credit, though. Yeah. Don't leave it improper like this. This one, same thing. Don't leave it improper if you're writing your answer. The x's and y's both cancel, right? Y's cancel, x's cancel. What are we going to divide by?
11.
Yeah. 55 divided by 11, 44 divided by 11. So it's just 5/4, which would be 1 1/4, right. This one is -1 1/3. Write an equivalent expression, use the commutative law. What does commutative do?
Switch places.
Switches places, so it's just 18 plus y. Okay? The associative, what does that do? Same order, what does it change? Changes what the parentheses is around. So the 2 plus u plus v has to stay in the same order. And all you do is change what? Instead of having parentheses here, you're going to have them here. So that would be this one right here. That would be C. Look at number 40 on the answer sheet. It says D. Oh, I looked. That's the right, written like this, yeah, I'm sorry, it is D. I gave the right answer. See, that's when it's bad to have multiple choice. You know how to do it. Actually, when you have it written like this, if you have the answer written down and then you pick the wrong one, I usually give it to you. If I look over there and see the answer. So sometimes it's bad to have multiple choice. Really. Okay, multiply. 3 times each one of those. 3 times x plus 3 times 7.
3 and B.
B? Are we sure? Yes, we're sure. Okay. List the terms of the expression. The terms would be this and this. So it'd be the 8x and the 8y.
B.
Right. No, B is separated
D.
with commas. Oh, D. Yes, D. Okay, factor. What does 6a and 2b have in common? Sorry, can't see it.
2. The 3.
They both have a 2 in common.
Yeah.
Since you can divide them both by 2, put a 2 in the front. 6a divided by 2,
3A.
3a. And you put a plus,
Both B.
just b. You can put 1b if you want, but you don't have to have the 1. So 2 in the parentheses, 3a plus b. Or, it's not 2b, is it?
A.
A. Okay. Collect like terms.
6A plus 6.
The a's are like, right, 6a plus 6.
The D.
Is a D. And find an equivalent expression without parentheses. That means you need to do minus this, minus that. So minus
B.
4x, and then change this to plus. B? Okay. Remove the parentheses and simplify. Okay, so we need to write the 9x, and then put minus 7, and then plus. Instead of minus, we need to put plus here. Okay, we just remove the parentheses, and don't forget to simplify it. 9x plus 4x, 13x, right. The minus goes with the 7. So that's B. Okay, this part stays just like it is, 8r plus 40. The negative and the 5 multiply through. Negative 5 times 3r, negative 15r, minus 35, right. Now simplify, combine like terms. Negative 7r
Minus plus 5.
plus 5. Right. Negative 7r plus 5. Okay, 48. Don't multiply the 2 till you do everything inside here first, okay? Let me write it down here. 2, and we have 49 plus 8, and then 7 plus 7 in parentheses. Do the parentheses first. 7 plus 7 is 14. Okay, 8 plus 14. Or 8 times 14, it's touching. 8 times 4 is 32. 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, then do 49 plus 112. 11, 4, 5, 6. And then multiply the 2. 2 times 1, 2 times 6, 12, 2, 3. So it's 322, which is actually one of the answers. And you could have multiplied the 8 times each one of these if you wanted. You could have done 49 plus 56 plus 56, you could have distributed. It's actually wanting you to do the order of operations, but you get the right answer the other way also. Okay, number 49, this one. We have 14 plus 30 times 5 minus -2. Okay. Let's get rid of minus -2, make that plus +2. Okay, now what do we do first? 14 plus 30? You gotta multiply before you add. 5 times 30 is 150. What do we put in front of it? Plus. And this is minus negative is plus. So now left to right is 164 and then plus 2. We just did that part. 164 plus 2 is 166. And that is one of our answers here. Okay, now number 50. 3 times, let me put it where we can see where I'm writing it at the same time. 3 times, parenthesis, 8 plus 2. This is a big one, isn't it? 8 plus 2, parenthesis, plus 3 times 4, all over 3 times, parenthesis, 3 minus 1. Okay, we got that right? Okay, now we're going to do it. Okay, 3 times 8 plus 2. We need to get rid of our parentheses, right? So we'll leave the 3 times 8 plus 2. 8 plus 2.
10.
Plus.
Plus
3 times
We're going to go ahead and be multiplying before we add, right? So let's go ahead and multiply that now. 12. 3 times
2. 40, 22.
3 minus 1?
Oh, 2.
3 minus 1. Yeah, 2. Okay, so the bottom is 6. 3 times 10 plus 12?
42.
40 or 30 plus 12, right?
42.
30 plus 12 is 42. Divided by 6.
7.
Just 7. That's not simple, huh? One little tiny number for that whole thing. Okay? So that's what your test is going to be like. Okay? May not be multiple choice, probably won't be multiple choice. Maybe parts of it, but I'm going to try to take most of the multiple choice out of it. Okay? Let's wake up a little bit, move around, and then we'll do a daily quiz.